Let's go out to Miami, Florida. Miami, how are you?
Hey, Zach.
Hey, man. Hey, Jonathan, thanks for calling. I hear your voice.
Oh, hey, brother. How you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, I'm back in Tallahassee now.
Good to be back.
Just back home. I'm happy to be back. Just went down there to see the family, see Alcides, my uncle, and my grandmother, and I took my daughter down to Miami. She loves it down there. So, um, hey, I just wanted to say that you were talking about the Bills. I predicted the Bills to make the playoffs before the season even started.
Go
And
back and remind us. What were you looking at with them?
okay, look, and I wrote this. I wrote this in August, and we did this or this might have been July. We put this it's on my channel, NFL preview of the 2017 season. I wrote this like last July. So check this out, right? This is the year the Bills will finally make the playoffs. The Bills have the longest active playoff drought in any major professional sport. They have not qualified to play in the NFL playoffs since 1999 and are the only team that has not appeared in the playoffs so far in the 21st century. Buffalo Bills equals 45, full reduction. Trump is the 45th president from New York. Their head coach, Sean McDermott, equals 51 in full reduction, like conspiracy. Sammy Watkins from Fort Myers, Florida, the star wide receiver for the Bills, has the same birthday as Donald Trump. Huh. It's funny how he got traded,
Which is
too,
the flag's
right?
birthday. That's the flag's birthday, too.
The flag, yep. That's Flag Day, right. The flag's birthday. It's funny how he got traded to the Rams.
Right.
They are exactly, Sammy Watkins and Trump are exactly 47 years apart in age. Huh. The ritual-killing exit of James Hardy is further proof of murder by numbers. LaShawn McCoy says that he will play until he is 33. 33 is a number of Freemason obsession. Quentin Moses, who wore the number 74, was found dead in a house fire at 33 years old, a week after Super Bowl 51. He played for the Dolphins in 44 games. 44 is the kill number.
Well, what was that player's name again one more time? I forgot about that story.
Quentin Moses.
That's right.
Yeah, found dead at 33 years old, a week after Super Bowl 51, and he wore the number 74. Huh. So could the James Hardy sacrifice mean that the Bills have a good season? Obviously they did, right? Tyrod Taylor. Oh, this is the good part right here. Tyrod Taylor, the QB for the Bills, has an 8-3 birthday, same as Tom Brady.
Right.
8-3 was the same day Ryan Tannehill got hurt and lost for the season.
Right.
Football 83. Taylor turned 28 on 8-3. 83 players with the 8-3 birthday in the NFL.
Isn't that crazy?
Which we... Man equals 28. Tyrod equals 28. In full reduction, he turned 28 on 8-3. Anquan Bolden equals 52 in full reduction, like Super Bowl 52, like the word prophecy. The last time there was a Super Bowl in Minnesota, Super Bowl 26.
Back True Seeker. We got Jonathan on the line. He's giving us a great NFL decode. For those of you keeping an eye on the basketball game, the Celtics just beat the Cavs with 102 points, just like how the Cavs beat the Celtics opening night with 102 points. And there's a lot of things that are special about that number. NBA basketball in gematria sums to 102. That's just one of them. We'll talk more about this game. I said why I like the Celtics to win it. I said it was a little bit more difficult narrative to read than the night before, where it was obvious the Cavs would beat the Blazers. That couldn't have been any more clear. But this code, it just opens up the door for so many things. And, the rigging, it's really surface level. I mean, anyone who's paying attention to these games is going to be going, that's funny that this team won with the same score that the Cavs won with last time. It happens all the time in this world of rigged sports. They like to put these repetitive numbers in front of the fans of the face. It's just like we were talking about with the Music City Miracle and Buffalo returning to the playoffs with the same score that was the Music City Miracle, a very rare score. And now here's Jonathan talking about how before the season began, how he said Buffalo was going to break the streak and return to the playoffs. And I believe he called into this radio show before the season began and gave us this same decode. So now here we are at the end of the year. His prediction's correct, and he's filling us back in. Jonathan, let's continue where we left off.
Okay, no, I just had one more thing on the Bills, which is the last time there was a Super Bowl in Minnesota, Super Bowl 26, the Bills lost to the Redskins. Bills make the playoffs. And I wrote that like in July or August. But I just thought that 26 is interesting, because the AFC, which is more than likely going to win it, will win that'll be the number 26 that the AFC gets.
Yep. And we just saw Tom Brady win his final game 26-6. He could potentially get his 6th Super Bowl. The AFC, it's 26th, something we've been talking about all year. It also reminds me about how man is made on the 6th day in the 26th verse of the Bible. We got this Pope Francis, the 266th Pope. Last year, Brady won the Super Bowl in connection with the Pope. The Pope blessed the Super Bowl last year, Super Bowl 51, which happened to be 51 days from his birthday. The Pope's a Jesuit. Tom Brady went to the Jesuit Catholic high school. Catholic equals 35, so does Tom Brady. The Super Bowl's on the 35th day of the year. So, yeah, these riddles, they're flowing everywhere.
Oh, I didn't even realize that the Patriots won with 26 because I haven't been watching it.
Yeah, they beat the Jets. They beat the Jets, the team it all started with Tom Brady. For people who don't know, Tom Brady became the darling of the NFL after Drew Bledsoe was injured. Drew Bledsoe was sacked hard by Mo Lewis, a New York Jet, right after 9/11 in New York, and skyscrapers and jets and Patriot acts. Then on the football field, the symbolism.
Hey, you know what's funny? In Miami, there's so much to do that people don't and when it comes to the Dolphins, people don't even take the Dolphins serious at all, because if you notice, every year the Dolphins, they either go 8-8, 7-9, something like that. So Sunday I was at home, and my uncle had the game on, and my grandmother was sitting there, and I'm like, I see the Dolphins are about to lose to the Bills. And my grandmother she was like 82, 83. She's like, the Dolphins are a joke. We don't know, people don't even this is, how could you even take this serious, if you see one team dominating the whole division year after year after year, the Jets, they never could get a quarterback. The Bills can never get a quarterback. The Dolphins haven't had a quarterback in 30 years since Marino. Right. But then you get somebody like Brady with no talent that can just dominate. I think this is the 9th year in a row they won the AFC East.
I'm sure it is, because it's the weakest division in football. Yeah. I know, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how people don't wake up to it. It's funny, though. The Dolphins are just one of those teams that a lot of people love. Even out here in the Pacific Northwest, all the way across the country, you go out in public, you see people wearing Dolphins T-shirts, Dolphins hats everywhere. There's always been Dolphins fans around up here.
That's true. No, I noticed that all over the country. That is one of the teams that get the most love. But and one thing I noticed too that you pointed out is that all time the Dolphins, they have a winning record over the Patriots, which proves that the Patriots, they have not always they haven't been a good team. They just became a dynasty. They just became a dynasty after 9/11.
Right.
So that because the Dolphins have I think they've won 4 or 5 more games, above the Patriots. So it just goes to show you how much of a joke it is, how much, how the Patriots became this dynasty out of nowhere.
Right. I mean, it was just so obvious. I couldn't believe that people couldn't see what was going on with the mocking in the NFL and 9/11 and the Patriot Act. Those were dark days for me. I didn't know where I lived anymore. I thought I was like, the Twilight Zone is definitely real and we live in it. And people still aren't catching up. But for those of us with eyes to see, I mean, the narrative is clear. The mocking is clear. And we got to figure out how to get more people to see what's really going on in this world. Speaking of which, the one thing that I wonder if they would ever do it, because they foreshadowed it so many times in movies over decades. A terrorist attack at the Super Bowl, a big football game. And, I mean, the NFL is such a distraction for them, and a lot of these things are distractions, and they want to control the minds of people. After the Las Vegas shooting this year, it was theorized in the media that, these terrorists are attacking big public events. Could they go after a thing like the Super Bowl? If there was ever a Super Bowl that they were going to attack, it might be this year's, because the word terrorist equals 52. And what I do know is if you pay attention throughout history, the movies, the programming that's been released with attacks at a football game, the Steelers team is always a part of it. There's the film Black Sunday years ago. It's the Steelers and Cowboys in the Super Bowl. You got the Sum of All Fears. It's like a Ravens-Steelers game. You got the Dark Knight Rises recently. You got the football stadium blowing up with the actual Steelers on the field. If the Steelers were in Super Bowl 52, I just wonder if they might stage some incident to further their agenda. That's one thing I'm thinking about, with just the narratives floating out there.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. That's a good point, because that's one thing that they haven't done yet, but they've given you so much predictive programming that it's almost like, it wouldn't be surprising, for people who are, paying attention.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. Probably not. I wouldn't count on that happening, but I mean, if there was ever a year, then this Super Bowl's got the numbers for it, so.
Right. So who do you think is going to be Patriots? Well, I think it's the Patriots or the Steelers will win, like we said before the season even started. But who do you think is out the NFC? You still like the Eagles?
Yeah. So I still like the Eagles because Nick Foles, everything. Because we've been talking about how they made this year about the flag. They made this year about the flag, and now we got Nick Foles in there, who's got the NF initials, N's the 14th letter, F's the 6th, the flag's birthday is 14/6. The name Nick equals 19. Flag also has gematria of 19. He beat the Raiders on Christmas Day with 19 points. If you write out 19 as a word, it sums to 41 like Super Bowl, and that game was 41 days before the Super Bowl. Also, with regards to Buffalo making the playoffs, the last time a backup QB was in a Super Bowl and won it was against the Bills. So maybe having them be in the playoffs could be part of that riddle, because now we got the backup QB with the Eagles.
Oh, right.
But if not the Eagles, I said last year in the offseason when Denny Green died, I said to remember his death because Denny Green died 155 days after his birthday, the day before they opened up U.S. Bank Stadium that's hosting this Super Bowl. And U.S. Bank Stadium, using the alphabetic order, sums to 155. Denny Green used to coach the Vikings. He died 52 days before Minnesota's first game of last season, the first season with that stadium. Minnesota equals 52. They're hosting Super Bowl 52. You had the Minnesota coach wearing the Be the First T-shirt last year training, and we were asking, does that mean be the first team to play in their own Super Bowl in their own city, which has never happened? And now Minnesota's up there with one of the top 4 records. The top 4 records are 13-3. Minnesota equals 133. The only way I could see the NFC winning this Super Bowl is if it was Steelers and Vikings in the Super Bowl. And the reason I say that is because Steelers has gematria of 103. Dan Rooney died on the 103rd day of the year. 103 is the 27th prime. And Vikings, if they won the Super Bowl against the Steelers, let's just say that was the matchup, it would be the 27th Super Bowl for the NFC. That's the only way I see the NFC getting their 27th win this year, because there's been all sorts of clues that the AFC will get their 26th and possibly Brady is 6th. If it does end up being Patriots versus Eagles, which has been my top pick since week 3, I like the Patriots all year, but then Eagles, I adjusted Eagles for the NFC slot after week 3 when I saw the whole thing with the flag. I don't know if you saw what the Eagles lost with. The Eagles lost their last game of the season getting shut out 6-0. And 6, I mean, that's the number Tom Brady's going for. If you write out 6 as a word, it sums to 52. Super Bowl 52. So.
Right. No, but just one quick thing about the Vikings. I like what you said, but what I don't like is how, let's say the Vikings do make it to the Super Bowl. I just don't like how they took Teddy Bridgewater out the equation and make him fake an injury. You know, he's down here in Miami riding dirt bikes, playing in the park. You know, so they make him fake an injury so he can't. So let's say the Vikings do win, he's not a part of that glory. Right. And the running back, Dalvin Cook, is from Miami as well. So let's say the Vikings do win. You know, they're not a part of it. And that's what I didn't like. And these are fake injuries. That's just it's just like, it's ridiculous. You know, it's just like, what's the purpose of that? You know, like, if the Vikings are set to win it this year, then why take Teddy and Davin out the equation?
Well, we'd have to look at Case Keenum, right? Because Case Keenum's the starter right now, isn't he?
Yeah, Keenum's the starter, yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't done my homework on Case Keenum. I'm just looking up real quick. Okay, so Case Keenum's 29 years old this year. Football equals 29. Big football number. His birthday's February 17th. The Super Bowl is February 4th. So that means the Super Bowl's 13 days after his birthday. Excuse me, his birthday's 13 days after the Super Bowl, or a span of 14 days. I'd have to think about it more, but the riddle would obviously be with him since everybody else been cleared out of the way for Case Keenum. Case Keenum.
Right. And then they made Aaron Rodgers fake an injury to make room for Case Keenum. And
I just looked at something. With his Case Keenum. His full name is Casey Austin Keenum, which has gematria 62, like Minneapolis is 62. It's just all part of the riddle. The reason
that's
he's
a big
in there.
number.
Yeah. And I'm noticing now the name Case alone has gematria 26 when he goes by Case, short for Casey. So, you know, the more I look at this and the more I'm doing this decode in real time. I haven't looked at Case Keenum at all this year. But, those are those numbers, again, that actually point to Tom Brady. And the date of the Super Bowl, again, if you put a gun to my head and just pick a team, I'm sticking with where I've been all year. Tom Brady, because, again, this is the 98th season of the NFL.
Too, exactly.
Tom Brady equals 98. Patriots equals 98. New England Patriots equals 98. Again, Tom Brady, the small waist 35. The Super Bowl's on the 35th day of the year. It's just that all the things that we've talked about all season with 62 have come true. I mean, winning the passing yards record by a margin of 62 yards, and then the whole thing with Jimmy G. It's just.
I didn't even know that till you said that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that till you said that earlier.
Yeah, and now just looking at this.
It's like it's just predictable. It's almost like, listen, you're better if you're betting. You know. It's like you're better off betting on the Patriots, betting on Alabama, betting on the Cavs. It's kind of predictable. It's to the point where it's not really that hard to figure out. You know, it's very predictable. Or like you said, there is a case for the Steelers. We've been talking about that all year too.
Sure. Yeah. There's always the little hiccups. I mean, that's the thing about this research. This research can definitively prove to you how sports are scripted. By knowing the code, you can just see it every week. You can see it oftentimes before the games happen. But it's not a perfect code, and there's still more to learn. But, these riddles that we unlock, they're just undeniable. The things we've been talking about all year. I mean, I said Philadelphia was going to go 10-1 after week 3. That happened. And again, it's because it's all by the script. It's not being a psychic. It's just understanding how these things are rigged. What was I thinking? I just had a thought a second ago. It'll come back to me. But, yeah. You got anything else going on, Jonathan? Anything else on your mind?
No, not really. I just had to call. I had to call somebody out this week. I'm like, you rather watch a Lil Pump video that's not going to do anything for your life, and then give me a view on YouTube, something that's going to help you, or give Zach a view. Gematria is something that you can actually use. Something that's actual wisdom, knowledge that you can actually use. You rather watch something that's going to do nothing for your life. If somebody was trying to make fun of my work, it's like, all right, you want to make fun of my work, but you go and watch a Lil Pump video, that's not doing anything for you. This is something that can actually help you.
Right. People aren't invested in the truth. People are not invested in the truth, man, or knowledge or wisdom. I mean, something else I noticed about this society a long time ago is people have been programmed to reject knowledge. It's like anti-intellectualism. Having intelligence, being aware of things, it's not perceived as a good thing in our society. It's like it's better to be ignorant and just being about having a good time.
Yeah, it's almost like it's true. It's like it's not cool,
Right.
No, I understand that. No, I kind of understand where you're coming from when you say, well, y'all don't want to learn none of this knowledge I'm trying to give you. Well, I'm going to go run off and make my own secret society and talk to people who can relate to me. But that's what the story, that's what the story was. I don't know all the details like you broke it down, but yeah, that kind of makes sense to me.
Right. Yeah. It's a strange world we live in. The things that should be appreciated overwhelmingly are not. Somebody just wrote in the chat that women aren't into intelligent men either, and just most people, they're not into intelligence. Intelligence isn't the thing. I mean, our society, the average person, that they just want to have a good time, they want to be entertained, they want to laugh. They want to talk about sports. They want to watch the movie. They want to listen to their favorite music. It's like we're an entertainment-driven society. We're not a knowledge-driven society. We're not exactly a caring people. It's more like we're invested in our own lives, our own immediate state of well-being. And
you know what they say, that the motto is 18 is all about me. And I'm like, how sick is that? It's all about you. What about, we got to get out of that kind of mentality. It's all about me and come on. I mean, that's not doing anything to help the world. That's what I try to tell people. It's like 18, now it's all about me. And, this society, it's not even designed for you to have a family, Like, most of the people I know that have kids, they're not even with their baby mama. They're on child support. A situation like that, the whole system needs to be turned upside down. That's what I say. We need to start the revolution right now.
Yeah, that's the plan. This is the year for the takeover.
This is the year for the takeover. And when you say, oh, is somebody going to be on the road with me? I'm going to be on the road with you, because we got to make something happen right now. And this is the year right here, 2018.
Right. That has to be the attitude. And, somebody left a really long comment on one of my videos the other day, and they said, Zach, I mean, I don't know why you just don't give up. And, I mean, it's obvious that the word's not getting out. And, he's like, look, you used to have 50,000 subscribers, and now you don't even have 1,000, and it's just like, it's just not going to happen, man. For people out there, and I know that this person follows my work. I mean, they've been around for years, and I'm just thinking, you guys got to throw out all these negative attitudes, and you need to start thinking that the world can be something better. It's not that it's going to be an easy mission, but I mean, I don't understand why you're out there if you're following truth and you have just this really pessimistic outlook and you think the world can never be better. I mean, there's just nothing productive in that. There's nothing productive in that. We have to be more positive, and we have to look. The world wasn't always this way. That's the way I always say. I always say this world we live in that we don't like right now. It wasn't always this way. The world came to be this way from people who wanted. I mean, there's people out there who want the world to be this way. They want to control us. They want this dumbed down society, this society that they have. There's people who envision this, that helped create this over time that we're living in. And those of us who are awake and want to do something about it, it can be undone. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it can be undone. What's been done can be undone. And that has to be the attitude. And for people who are into truth but just want to be Debbie Downer all the time, I mean, these things aren't going together. I mean, if you think there's no hope in the world, my suggestion to you is to just drop out of the truth community and just figure out whatever way to maintain your level of happiness. And you can accept the world for the way it is, but don't be spreading the rumors or the words. I mean, the person who wrote this message must have spent an hour writing their comment. It's like, if you're feeling this way, I mean, invest your hour a better time than writing this long, sad soap opera about how obviously the world can't change and you've already put in 3-4 years and the world still hasn't changed. I mean, who really thought the world was going to change in 3 to 4 years? I mean, this is a long road ahead. I mean, this can be a long fight, but every day has to be a day that we, the awake people, work to make that change. That's the only way it's going to come to be. So, talking to that person because I know they listen to this radio show
one thing about your viewers is that at the time when they erased your channel, you had like 60,000 viewers. So by now, it would have probably been like 200,000 viewers. But then again, who knows? We all know YouTube, what they do with the stats. But what I'm saying is that you had 60,000. That was pretty good. And by now, it'd probably be 250,000. So, what I mean? Like if they wouldn't erase your first channel.
Well, all I know is my channel's been suppressed the whole time, and people have been documenting. People are just watching what's happened with the subscriber stat on this 11th channel. I'm now on my 11th channel because I've been deleted so many times. Google continues to drop people in blocks of 100 from my channel. They're just trying to keep the number below 1,000. They keep dropping people in huge chunks. They've already done it over 10 times. And they really don't want me on their platform, which to me shows something. If they really don't want me on their platform, then that means they really don't want this word getting out. So
exactly, and that's what I told you.
Right. So also what I know is before they deleted my channel, what was nice is I was finally getting videos that were going like semi-viral. I'd put out a video. I had it happen twice in the last month before my channel was deleted. I had 2 videos that got over 200,000 views in a day, and I was feeling like finally the word's getting out.
I remember
finding these videos.
I remember.
And the next thing I know, I didn't have a channel. But it can happen again, and just for all the people who are so pessimistic and stuff. I mean, it's the winter season too. People get down and depressed in the winter, and the darkest and most negative thoughts come out. In the spring, these people will probably be feeling better. And understand that's why as above, so below. What's happening above, what's going on in the world, it rules the way we are as people. And anyway, if you're feeling down and dark and things aren't looking pretty right now, just realize better days are ahead. You just gotta find the level head state to be at. Like, I don't know that I have the most perfect mentality. Obviously, you guys hear the things I rant about. I'm not happy with this world, but I never let it get me down so much. And I always keep this focus that, if I keep working, if I keep spreading the word, if more people are going to catch on, more people are going to spread the words, eventually there'll be a tipping point. And I'd like to think it's sooner than later, but I got the mentality that, I might have to fight for at least another decade or maybe even longer. I mean, but the day that we lose is the day we give up, and you just can't quit. You can't give up. So.
Yes. Right. Because a negative attitude is going to get you nowhere.
Right.
So. You know, and that's the thing is in the Talmud it says the job of the goy is to work so the fake Jew doesn't have to. Right. So that's the thing right there. Is the reason why we're in the system is because people are participating in the system.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, you're working to pay taxes, to work, so the Jew doesn't have to work. If everybody just walked off their job, there wouldn't even be a system.
Right.
We could do this in a day.
Right. But we got to put things in place. People have to know that they got community and people who are going to back them up and help take care of them. And people are going to start growing food and make sure nobody's starving and making sure people's health are taken care of. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that have to be done, but we can definitely take the world back. People just have to see the path and feel that it's possible. Jonathan, I really appreciate the call. There's a lot of people on hold and we're about to go to commercial. So I'm going to say goodnight to you for tonight. Always appreciate your voice and mine. We'll be right back, everybody.
Okay,
thanks, Jonathan. You take care,
brother. Thank you.
All right. The music should be kicking